What happens when everyone's at fault and no one wants to admit it?
Walk, walk in, chest great, we don't play. Staff talk sharp like a quiz on a Monday. Whiteboard wars, yeah, we grade all day. If you can't take that heat, stay out the hallway. Hey, this is the staff room. Say it loud, say it loud. The staff room.
Let's get into it.
Today, we have Teacher Tales. My name is Dr. Matos, author of the book, How to Motivate Teachers in Real Classrooms Today. And today we have a story about what happens when parents really can't blame schools for what their children are doing, and when teachers or professionals use occurrences like this to lighten their load. Today we're going to talk about a little story about a young man named Seth and another young man named Danny. So one day I was radioed for a situation that had occurred not in school but outside of school. This is something that tends to happen every now and then, but really it's not something that happens regularly. This particular day, I had gotten a text message from my principal stating that I needed to go see the IT guy. Why I would need to go see the IT guy, I don't know. I typically only see him when there's an issue that I can't fix with my computer. So I get down and I meet up with the IT guy and we start having a conversation, and he seems a little distraught. And he asked me to go pull a laptop from a student. So I asked him what's going on, and come to find out, a student had sent a couple of emails, one to his teacher and one to his principal. In this instance, the emails were very vulgar, a lot of colorful language, and even some issues about the principal's race. I go up to the child's class and I met with his teacher. This particular teacher is a very nice lady. She's a very strong teacher. She's been at this particular school for quite a while. She tends to overreact a little bit about certain things, and I don't know really what it's about. Sometimes you get teachers that are going through things at home. Sometimes they're just tired, especially towards the end of the year. It tends to be a little chaotic, so everybody's tired. So about 5 or 10 minutes, she's just explaining to me why she's angry and why this shouldn't happen and that she feels threatened. Okay. Let me just say that this wasn't a threatening email. Okay. Not to her, at least. So I go pick up the student, bring him to my office. I explained to him that we seen the emails that he sent, and we're going to send them to the IT department in the district to have them traced to make sure that they were sent from his device. Why this is important is because kids are getting smart, and sometimes they like to play jokes, or they'll steal somebody's password, or something along those lines. So when I am dealing with a situation like this, I like to be certain that I have the right person, because the words that were used were suspendable words, I guess. I take the student to my office, and we sit down and we start talking. I tell the student, listen, we've been here before. This specific student was caught on camera doing some obscene things in the cafeteria, and at that point he denied it. This is the same student, very smart kid, and this is important that he's extremely smart, because we'll circle back on that later. He starts to talk, and it sounds really weird. Like it really sounds like he truly does not understand what's happening. And then he says to me, well, if I did, I don't remember doing it. So that kind of struck me like, all right, there's no way he's telling the truth. He forgot sending emails to his teacher, basically cursing him out and calling him all kinds of foul things. No. But again, I want to make sure that I have things in order. It's really not fair if he didn't do it, but I was fairly certain that he did do it. So I called the student's mother, and I met with the same exact song and dance I'm always met with. Are you sure it was him? Oh, I don't know if he did that. Okay, I get it. The only issue with this parent is that I've already caught her child on camera doing some things in the past, and I had to show her the video. So she now knows that her son will do these things. So she didn't give me as much pushback as I would have anticipated. So at this point, I just have a suspicion. I'm waiting for the IT confirmation to come through to tell me exactly what device it was sent from. Okay. Again, these were serious things that were said. So I sent this student back up to class. Again, he wasn't threatening, and I didn't think he was threatening. I didn't feel that way. So therefore, it was very safe for me to send him to class. I sent him back to class. His teacher starts to text me. Now she's mad. Why is he in my class? Why this is nothing ever gets done. And I get it. I do get it. Because in some instances, especially in elementary schools, consequences are not really something that happen too often. And it's to no fault of the principal. There's different things in place that just keep kids in class. Okay. So upon allowing that child to go back to class, the teacher also messaged me that somebody has some information. So I call that student down. That student says that it wasn't that student, it was another student. And this other student, Seth, he was the one that sent it. And Seth had a sleepover with another student called Danny on the same night that these emails were sent. So I call both students down, and at the same time that I call both students down to my office, I get an email from IT. IT says the email came directly from Seth, or Seth's device. Now I have a situation because I have a student who's basically afraid that he's going to get in trouble. I have a parent that was notified, and I feel like I handled that situation correctly. So before I move forward as a leader, as an educator, and as a person, I now need to make sure that this student is taken care of. So I in turn call this other student back down, and I apologize to him because I feel like that's what we should do. And I feel like in a lot of instances, adults don't do that. They think that once we figure it out, oh, you're safe, everything's fine. No. I apologize to the student. I call the student's mother back, and I explain to her what happened. I said, listen, come to find out, there was two students that found this other student, or her son, found his password, logged into his account from a different device, and sent these emails under this student's name. Now, this is a situation that did not happen at school. It happened at home. And it's important because in many instances like this, when it happens at school, parents tend to point the finger at the educator. And the questions that we usually get are, well, why was nobody watching the kids? Or where was the teacher when this was happening? Why were the students allowed to be doing something other than what's supposed to be doing? These are all things that come from people that really don't understand what it looks like in a classroom. But in this instance, it happened at home. So now I know the issue that I have on my hands, because it's going to get defensive. So I send that student back to class, and I have Seth and Danny in my office, and Seth immediately says to me, "I know why I'm here." Okay. You track the IP address. Okay. These kids are smart, especially with technology these days. Yep, we track the IP address. We know it came from your device. So tell me exactly what happened. So Seth goes into telling me that they had a sleepover. He didn't get into any detail. And Danny logged into Seth's computer. Then Seth says that Danny sent the emails from his computer. Danny says he did log in, but Seth is the one who sent the emails. So at this point, I have no idea who. These kids are friends. And this is kind of what happens. They're friends and they immediately turn on each other. And it's odd to me. Because I've had friends since second grade and we've never done that. But okay, benefit of the doubt. You live and you learn. People make mistakes. So I call Danny's parent. Now here is where it gets interesting, because here is where I come in and I say, at this point, there is nothing you can say to deny this, nor do I think you would want to. As a parent, I have your child has admitted to me that they did this. So there shouldn't be any issues. And I was wrong. I was wrong. So I called Danny's parent and she picks up the phone. I explained to her what's going on. I explained to her exactly what Danny said and exactly where they went. However, when I started the conversation, I said to her, "Mom, this is Dr. Matos. Danny was over at a friend's house for a sleepover, correct?" "No." "Okay." Well, Danny says, and now Danny's in the background saying, "Yes, I was." "No, he wasn't. I picked him up. He didn't sleep over there." "All right." Well, Danny says he was there. Either way, I found out that Danny and this other student hacked into another student's account and sent an email to his teacher and his principal saying some pretty terrible things. The response that I got was kind of shocking, because first she denied it. Then she said, "Well, what did he say?" Well, I told her I'm not going to dilly-dally with parents. I told her exactly what was said. I said that Danny's logged in. He admitted it. He said that the other kid typed it. Well, the other kid said that he typed it. So she gets upset at me. In my mind, I said, "Well, he's not on school grounds. Why would you be upset at how could this be my fault?" So at this point, Mom and myself, we're kind of going back and forth, but not really, because I'm just allowing her to talk and vent. And I can hear Danny, who was completely quiet and calm before I call his mom. He starts crying. Now here's when I say, parents, get a grip. You can't raise these kids this way, especially little boys. Either way, he found himself into trouble. And magically, he turns on the tears, and you are now going to side with him. I could already see it. So she asked me, "Can I speak to him? Can you take me off speaker?" I have a phone, the wire falls out the back. So I tell her, I'm like, "Listen, if I give him the phone, the wire is going to come unconnected. So you just stay on speaker." So she immediately goes into the coddling. "Are you crying, baby? Oh no, are you crying? It's okay. Here's what came out of her mouth. "If you didn't do it, it's okay. If you did do it, it's okay. Don't cry." Are you kidding me? This is a 5th grade young man. What do you mean it's okay? He's calling teachers racial slurs. There's no way we're doing this, right? So tell me what happened, she says. He tells her, I logged in, but I didn't type it. No problem. Okay. Now he's crying. We're done, pretty much with this. He's admitted it. His mom says, I do not appreciate you talking to my son without me present. He has anxiety. This could make him have a nervous breakdown. He also has asthma. I can hear it over the phone. He's having trouble breathing. You're kidding me, right? This is what we're teaching our young men? Danny very clearly says over mom who's talking, I'm fine. I got caught. I'm fine. No, I would appreciate if you send him to the nurse. Matter of fact, I'm going to come down. He needs his nebulizer. Wow. This child is going to have a rough upbringing. I mean, he doesn't even like the way his mom treats him. He was ready to deal with the situation. I think I want to say it's because of the way I addressed it with him. We had a discussion about it. I'm not a person that hollers and yells. We had a discussion and we talked about what this means and how it makes other people feel and why it's within good character to do something like this, or why he even thought it. I don't need to yell. I have relationships with kids. I talk to them and that's all I need to do for them to know that what they're doing isn't right, and to know that it can't be done again. This parent clearly just doesn't have it in her. And that's what I mean about parents these days. Some of them just don't have it in them to be a parent. They could never teach in a classroom because they think all kids need is some candy and hugs. It's shocking when it happens. After I was done talking to Danny's mom, I made a phone call to Seth's mom. Tune in tomorrow, find out what happens.
Walk in, chest scrape, we don't play.